Hello, everybody. Joe Compton here. Thank you so much for joining us here at this town hall. We really do appreciate it. I'm so glad to see each and every one of you. Julia Allen will be along shortly to be hosting this show, along with Katie Salidas and A Rose Mapstone. They're going to be talking about gratitude tonight. So, along those lines, I wanted to take this moment to express my own personal gratitude and to thank each and every one of you for all that you did for us this year, whether you shared a post that we made about a show or about anything we were talking about, whether you liked the videos that we've put out, commented on them, shared them, subscribed to our network, been there live and chatted with us, whether even if you were just in our Facebook group interacting, we really, really appreciate each and every one of you for doing any of that. It really means the world to us. It keeps us going and it keeps us wanting to do more for you in the future. So we're real excited about that future. 2020 was a challenging year for all of us. So hopefully Go Indie Now did something to help you either laugh, cry, learn, network, whatever the case may be. Hopefully one of our programs, if not many, helped you out this year. And along those lines, we've got more to come. So this year's not over yet for us. The season's not over yet. And then we're headed into the winter time where we've got more programming for you coming, some new stuff, some familiar stuff, some live stuff, some recorded stuff. I mean, it runs the gamut. We're real excited about all of it, and we're real excited to bring it to you. So enough of me yapping. I will be in the chat if you're watching this live. So I'll hopefully be able to thank each and every one of you in the chat personally. And anybody who's watching this after the fact or down the road, the comment section is always open. So please express your gratitude to whatever you want to express it to. Even if it's not Go Indie Now, that's fine. We'd love to hear it. We'd love to hear about all the things that were positive in your life this year. I know that it's a tough year, but there has to be something positive out there, and we want to make sure that we put it out there. So do put that in the comments below this video. We really appreciate it at any point, whether you're watching it and you're commenting or after the fact. We love any of that. But that being said, it's time to take your seats and enjoy this town hall. All right, everybody. Thank you so much.
Hello, and welcome to a very special town hall that we are doing. We figured December is the perfect month to do this, end the year off by focusing on what we are grateful for this year. It's been a wild ride, ladies. Hello and welcome. Thank you so much for joining today. We have the wonderful A Rose Mapstone and Katie Salidas. Do we want to just go around and kind of just introduce ourselves and like what we're known for? If you want to start, Katie.
Sure. I am Katie Salidas. I am the author of 6 different book series. I'm also the producer and host of the Spelling Ink Show and a publishing consultant for Rising Sign Books.
Wonderful, wonderful. Thanks again for joining. And A Rose Mapstone.
Hello, I'm A Rose Mapstone. I'm the author of the Ananda series, which is a sci-fi, spiritual, metaphysical journey about healing yourself to heal the universe. I'm also an esoteric healing practitioner, a Reiki master, and owner of the Reiki.
Thank you so much. We're so glad to have you here. And I am Julia, your host of In Progress and some other random stuff on Go Indie Now sometimes when Joe lets me say the magic words. I write as J.K. Allen, and I have the Angel Born series and Half-Blood Alliance are the books that I have out. I also do editing and author coaching services at hygieneswriter.com. All right. So what brings us here today is gratitude. And I just want to explain for you real quick. To show our gratitude, we are offering special discounts and special prizes for people who are watching this. So make sure that you comment either what you're grateful for, any questions you have for us, anything like that. For my prize, will be picking my favorite comments to give away prizes, which will be just describing the discounts and the prizes and kind of our gifts to you a little bit later in the show. But I just wanted to start out with asking you guys, like, what does gratitude really mean to you, especially around this time of year?
That's a tough one.
It is.
Yeah,
Gratitude
there's kind of a
seems
lot
like,
of channels and ways that it happens, right?
Right. It seems like a simple concept, but when you get down to it, it has so much meaning for different people.
Yeah, I think it starts with just trying to not focus on the negative of what's going on around you. Try and find that little bit of positivity and latching onto that and learning how to pay attention to that so you can appreciate it.
Yes. Appreciation is a big part of just what makes for like a happier existence, I feel like.
But it's hard.
It's definitely a choice. Oh, absolutely. To notice those things, it's definitely a choice. But it's not impossible. I always think that it's like an opportunity, like every moment is an opportunity for gratitude, but it definitely can be more challenging when, we're faced with turmoil and trauma, and this year was full of it. So
yes. And I do feel like it is something that we can actively do, but it's also something that's a habit. Like when we start to do it like on purpose, that's when it becomes like more natural and we can get into that rhythm of noticing the positive instead of like I had 10 good things happen to me today, but one bad thing, instead of just focusing on that one bad thing and ruining my whole night. Choosing to focus on the 10 good things that happened is a habit, that I can form to really get into the attitude of gratitude. I hate that just rhymed.
Well, that's
I really
like what
did
they
not
say,
mean
though,
to
isn't
do
it?
that, guys.
Isn't that a hashtag or something going around, I thought?
Oh, probably. I know gratitude, is really important to me this time of year, because for me, Christmas is not about getting gifts or necessarily even giving the gifts. For me, it's about showing my gratitude for people like that have been there for me the whole year round. So it's the thought behind the gifts. It's saying, I'm thinking of you, I appreciate you, and here's a small token of that. So gratitude is really, really big for me this time of year, because this is the time that I'm thinking of everyone that I love in my life and how I can show that love. Is there any other special times of gratitude for you guys? Like, I know Thanksgiving is an obvious one, but
I think every day there's an opportunity to be thankful for something. Like you said, trying to find, not necessarily exactly 10 good things every day, but just trying to take a few moments to recognize that even though there's a lot of negativity going around, there is some positive. And that doesn't mean we only focus on just the positive, but we appreciate the positive because there's the contrasting negative to it. So just recognizing that, yes, there were some bad things that happened today, but it wasn't all bad. Here's some good stuff. And tomorrow is a brand new, fresh, clean slate. And let's see how tomorrow lines up.
And not to mention, at least in my practice, I know that focusing more on those positive things and more of just what you want, it makes it easier for you to notice in the future and to kind of expect it, I guess, but also to just, like you said, appreciate it and to just know what it is you want. Because a lot of people don't even know what direction they want to be pulled in. So when we have this like negative stuff, we're like, okay, well, we know what we don't want, so now let's turn away towards, you know, solutions rather than problems, or you know, good feelings as opposed to the bad ones. It's all about pivoting kind of in that way for me. Gratitude is like the catalyst for that moment of pivoting.
Yeah, that's very true. I know one thing that I'm working on doing for 2021 is a vision board, just to kind of organize my thoughts and like, you know, what do I want to happen for the next year or so? Like, what do I want my focus to be? I've never done one before though, so I'm like asking everyone, like, give me all the tips, and
it's kind of intimidating, isn't it?
It is, because it's like, you know, like if you're like, I'm really going to manifest something this year, then it's like, oh gosh, but I got to pick the right thing to
right, the
to bring into my life, you know, like I got to ask the universe for the right stuff, right? So it's a lot of pressure. And then
you also know that like your wants and desires change naturally, so it's like, oh, but what if but that's I think that's part of it too, is, and actually I was reflecting on this tonight because I'm having some friends over for a little party. So there's an interesting contrast between like the present, past, and future, and how gratitude interacts with all of that, and like how we've changed. You can either, you know, see change as something that is to be like causing an upset, you know, or it can be something that is celebrated and that you're grateful for. And I really lately have been grateful for change, and to see the growth and the change, whether it's in me or someone else, or like the collective humanity in general. It's pretty cool.
Yes. And that's a perfect segue into talking about what we are grateful for, because I think it's really important with how crazy and kind of, you know, just up and down this year has been, that we focus on what we are grateful for. So you started with, you're grateful for change. Is there anything else that you're really grateful for this year, A Rose?
Oh gosh. Yes, my connections with people, my close circle, you guys, honestly, and just like the different, I very much learned this year that for me, all of life is relationship. So it's not about like one specific relationship is the goal or the end all be all. It's finding gratitude in all of these different kinds of relationships, whether it's with other people or like pets and animals, nature, food that I eat, and content that I create and consume. All of that has some like spark in it that I've just been really grateful for. And it's almost like this big collective trauma that we've been experiencing has sort of brought me back to that microscopic scale, that more me, because, you know, I was quarantined for a while, and so was in this space of just self, and finding gratitude like for me and my own being was like so new to me. It's easy to sort of feel grateful for things outside of yourself, but to be like, you know, I'm just grateful for like my body and the fact that I'm breathing and being healthy in general, like that, it really put everything into perspective this whole year about like priorities and what really matters.
Yeah, I really like that. One thing for me for sure was to look at this period as a time for healing and focusing on myself, which I had gotten so wrapped up with other things and being busy and trying to be productive and accomplish all of the things. And I had lost, you know, that self-care, that rest and taking care of myself and eating right and all of that stuff. So this has been like a really great year to focus on just that pause and reprioritizing things. How about you, Katie? Did you think of some stuff to be grateful for? I put you on the spot, you guys. Totally did.
The problem is there's so much, it's hard to pinpoint exactly the things you want to say, because it's more concept than it is something that I can actually, you know, say I am thankful for XYZ. But with the way this year has gone, I guess the internet and the way that it has allowed us to maintain connections, to maintain the ability to work, it's kept us going this year. And could you imagine, you know, when the Spanish flu went around, how quarantining was back then and how isolating it was then. And we've had a lot of isolation and we've had a lot of doing everything from our homes, but we're still able to connect and we're still able to talk to people. We're still able to work. We're still able to do school. And as frustrating as it can be, it has kept things going. And that is so important.
And all the artists, when this first happened, that came out and was like, here's content for you to like have something to do in all that free time that we now found ourselves in. Like, that was amazing. And yeah, I was talking with a friend about this the other day, and it was just like, thank God for telephone calls, for texts, for messaging, for Zoom calls and FaceTime and all of that stuff that allows us to still see our loved ones, even though we can't like physically be with everyone right now. Like, can you imagine like having to be away from people for all this time, and you know, you don't have a way to spend your time and you don't have a way to say hi to everyone? Like, oh man. Yeah, there's a lot to be grateful for. Some of my personal gratitude aspects are just like the fact that I have such great like people in my corner, such healthy relationships, and just like the happy, like I can share with them the happiness and the sadness, and you know, really like have that support from them all the time. Like, I'm so grateful for the people in my life, and I'm also really grateful for you know, just the opportunity to like pivot in my life that I've had recently, and you know, just the opportunities that seem to like just fall in your lap when you need them the most. Like, that has been like the best part of the year, is just like thinking like, oh, I really wish something could happen, and then you turn around and it happens and you're like, yes. Like, you know, I've had some really awesome like good luck, you know, this year, so I'm really grateful for that.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah, it's super exciting. Yes, like I said, the content and everything that people shared when this first happened is like so awesome. To get new art into the world is always an amazing thing. And Joe, we are grateful for you too.
Where would we be without Joe?
I know, right? Without Go Indie Now.
It wasn't just Go Indie Now. He was like the cornerstone of the indie community. He has connected so many people. So many of us have all become friends through our connection to Joe.
Right.
You know, he is like, we call him the Godfather, but he is.
I was going to say that, and I didn't even know that you guys did that, but that's what, it definitely feels that way.
So, and he lets me say the special words. And I feel so special every time I say them. So I love it. Now, I know you were talking, A Rose, about practicing gratitude. What are some ways that you practice gratitude specifically?
Well, I was just thinking to myself that I should have picked a different spot to sit in front of, because I have on the other side of my room a little, I call it my gratitude spiral, and every morning I read the affirmations on it, but I start with one, and then it continues into like one spiral sentence, if that makes sense. So it's basically just my affirmations, but in a very artsy way, so that it will like make me focus, because I started getting kind of distracted just reading them off of paper and not really being into them. So during my morning meditations, this allows me to really just set the intention and to sink into my gratitude. And then sometimes it's so powerful that I like have, other things come up that I'm grateful for that aren't just not the bare essentials, but like the what I have written down. And doing that every morning is really nice. And then as I'm falling asleep, I will just sort of daydream a little bit about like the good things that I was grateful for that day that happened. Ending and starting the day, I think, is just the most like potent way to be grateful, if that makes sense. But also to express your gratitude to people, whether you know them personally or not, is like hugely powerful, especially if you don't know them actually.
Right.
It costs nothing to say thank you. It costs nothing to recognize what somebody
Yeah.
else has done.
Yeah, one of my favorite things to say to my my loved ones is I appreciate you.
I love that.
Yeah, whether it's like because they're helping me with something or they just put the, did the dishes or something. It's like, oh, I really appreciate you. It means so much to people to hear that. I know I always feel better when I'm appreciated. So I love to say that. How about for you, Katie? Is there anything in specific you do to kind of practice your gratitude, or any ideas you have for people if they want to practice gratitude?
Well, something I tell my kids every night before we go to bed, especially on the nights when they've gotten in trouble, is remember that tomorrow is a new day. It's a brand new start. You get another chance, another do-over, and you can make it whatever day you want. And I try and remember that. And it's hard sometimes because, with the negativity that's overwhelming lately, it's hard to just take that step back and remember that you made it through the day and tomorrow's a brand new fresh start. You don't know what it's going to bring, and you have the ability to make it a good day. So I've been trying to focus a little bit more on that because I tell my kids that all the time. I should be believing it. I should be acting it too.
Well, I always say, like, we tell people the best advice and then never take it ourselves. Never. Yeah. So
well, the idea is with repetition of like advising people, hopefully eventually we're like, oh, you know what? I should do it. Because I've had those moments where I'm like, I've been telling a lot of people this specific piece of advice lately. So I think I'm going to take it now to sort of like solidify.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes we need like a moment to have that wake up call, though, that like, hey, we should be listening to our own advice because it's good advice. Yeah, for sure. Yep. What were you going to say?
I was just agreeing.
Oh, okay. Sorry, I was like not trying to cut anyone off. I know I started getting into like a gratitude practice. I watched Oprah in middle school, and she was like, gratitude journal saved my life, changed everything. So I tried it. And gratitude at first was kind of like hard for me to practice because I was like, what am I grateful for? I'm like a middle school kid, like I got a new pen today. I'm grateful for my new pen. Like there was like just nothing exciting going on in my life where, I could be like, hey, I feel really grateful for this person I met today, or, so I had a hard time at first. But I've grown in my gratitude practice. I don't necessarily do a journal, but I like to kind of do at the end of the day a check-in and say like, okay, this is like, here's some good things that happened that I'm grateful for. One thing that I love that I'm doing this year, so I was isolating with my significant other for the last couple months, and now we're spending about a month apart before I see him after Christmas. And I decided to write them kind of like I'm grateful for, and I enjoy this about you notes every day until we meet again, and that'll be kind of like part of their Christmas present.
That is really beautiful.
And I was just thinking like this is like perfect to talk about on this show because it's like you can do these little things for yourself. You can have like a jar that you put in every day, something you're grateful for to review. If you start the new year, review at the end of the year next year. Or to someone that you love and appreciate, just writing them a little note. It can be something silly like I appreciate your face, or something that they do for you. But it's really been nice for me because it takes that sadness a little bit out of missing them and just being like I can just appreciate them a little bit every day, and then that makes me feel close to them for that moment. So but like that's I would love to do it for myself as well. Just something I'm grateful for, or something I'm grateful about myself for, because when you're in a bad place, like I'm hoping they'll have my notes to look at if they ever get in a bad place. And I can do that for myself as well, is say I'm grateful for this about myself today. And if I'm doing that for the whole year, then I'll always have that to hold on to and go back to when I'm just in a bad place.
Yes, so actually that's a really good point. That reminds me of if I can say just like because this year has just prompted so many like huge mood swings for me. So I would go from like really high highs to really low lows, and I was like, I need to find a way to like even this out. And so I would leave myself little voice memos when I was feeling really good and like happy with myself, and then when I was feeling really not good, I would listen to them again, and it was just amazing how much I was like, oh right, that's what that feels like. And it became a lot
I love
easier, and
that.
then
Yeah.
slowly it like balanced out, and I totally just discovered that just because I felt like doing it, and I was like, wow, this helps a lot because it's been crazy.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I mean, I think it's great to like encourage yourself so that when you need that reminder, you have it.
And it's right there, like immediate and accessible.
Yeah, that's a great idea. If you don't like writing stuff down necessarily, just do a quick voice memo to your friends or to yourself. Yeah. Onions, yeah.
Oh,
The onions are in the room.
what is happening in chat? I love it.
Yes, I'm grateful for the threat of a cattle prod.
Yes.
There's a story behind that.
Yes, we always say Rebecca has a cattle prod to make us right.
Oh,
there was a book.
So if you get behind on your writing, she'll come after you with a cattle prod. So a lot of people are grateful for that cattle prod because they got their book done.
It's true. It's very true. The book that I'm actually putting out, not next week, I think it's the week after, I had been promising I was going to do for forever. And I was finally getting down to the wire of, should I get off the pot? And I said, okay, who do I know who's going to hold me accountable? And I told Rebecca, I was like, make sure I am done by this date. And I swear to God, the warnings, the reminders, she was on it. So I am very thankful for somebody to hold me accountable for my own laziness.
Wow. Yeah, accountability partners are a fabulous thing to have.
Does she do that as like a profession, or is it just friendliness, like out of the goodness of her heart,
I think she enjoys it.
I'll have to talk to her for my sequel because I'm dragging my butt.
Yeah. I know. I've had the plot for book 2 for a while, but I've been kind of dilly-dallying on the actual writing.
Dilly-dallying is the right word. I feel that.
Yeah, I've literally been just like, yeah.
And I sort of
that's what I imagine dilly-dallying looks like. It's just like, okay, guys, like, yeah, just hanging out,
like pretending that you're typing, but you're not.
Right, staring a lot at blank screens and yeah, deleting a lot. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so we wanted to not just talk about gratitude today, but also to offer little gifts from us to you for you guys. So if you want to start with Katie, tell us a little bit about what you do with your company and your gift to everyone tonight.
Okay, so Rising Sign Books is my a la carte publishing service. I do not publish you, but I will do all the steps that you need to get you published. And that includes book cover, that includes book formatting, that includes manuscript critiquing, publishing coaching to show you all the steps that you need to perform before you can get the book published. All the way up to editing and just hand-holding you through the process. So if you visit my site, risingsignbooks.com, you can see all the different things that I do. And for this show and for the month of December, if you book a service with me before the end of this month, and that can be for services in 2021, and use the coupon code GOINDYNOW, you can get 25% off.
Yes, and that's fabulous. She does amazing work with covers and amazing work with formatting and all of that stuff. So this is quite a deal for you folks. How about you, A Rose Mapstone? What do you do?
Firstly, I just want to say that I love your business name. I think that's awesome. Rising Sign Books. Yeah! That's cool.
Thank you.
And yeah. And so I have a business called The Rakery. We are an esoteric healing practitioner place. I do Reiki, which is energy work, similar to meditation. It's basically just a way to align your mind and your body and your spirit. And one of the offerings that we have is a Laced with Love session, which is just Reiki and CBD oil, which is one of my favorite supplements for relaxing, and I use it in my meditation practices. It has changed my life essentially. So we have a nice little bottle of orange sunshine flavored CBD oil, as well as a beautiful and fairly new for the company that I work with, botanical scent for abundance, which I thought was fitting because gratitude and abundance are very much intrinsically related.
Yes.
And
Sorry,
so
random interjection.
Oh no, you're fine. I got distracted as well. So but so the scents are vegan, cruelty free, and all natural. So super cool about that. And the CBD is also all natural. So yeah, I stand by these. They're awesome, and they've helped me with my meditation practice, my self-care routine, which especially during wintertime is very important for me. So
Yes.
I'm giving that away.
Oh, and we appreciate that. I love the way you describe Reiki.
Oh, thank you.
Sorry, I got distracted by like I'm getting cattle prodded soon. So
that can be a little distracting. That's understandable.
The fear of the divine is in me right now. So I got a little distracted. But yeah, no, I love that description of Reiki of it's just like of meditation, but also of just aligning everything. Because I feel like a lot of people don't really understand what it is beyond like, you know, like the random stuff you'll see on TV about it.
Yeah, I mean, I always say what I've noticed with Reiki especially is it's basically just a way of allowing someone to sort of get a feel for what meditating is like, because it puts you in like your natural state of calm that we kind of are really just distracted by, and less stimulation too. We're so overstimulated all the time, so it's very nice to just center in that way. And that's sort of what I really mean by alignment. Even if you're not like a spiritual person like me, generally, I mean, I've had clients who aren't spiritual at all, and they just do it for relaxation because they say it feels nice, so it can be as simple as that. It's just some little like TLC, some me time, like a massage or that type of thing. So
yeah, and I think self-care is so important, like you were saying, especially in the winter when it's dark and you're not getting those feel-good emotions from being out in the sun, and the days are so short, and it just feels like the day just like drags on because it feels like it's midnight when it's 4 p.m. because you live in Michigan, and that's when it gets dark now, guys. Like, welcome to the winter. Yeah, it's so exciting. Yeah, I know a lot of people struggle with kind of like seasonal affective just depression and stuff around this time of year. Or, this year is just so different, how we're going to be celebrating Christmas and stuff. So self-care is super important. What are your guys' like go-to self-care like tips or practices? Katie?
Nice hot bubble bath.
That's a good one.
Yeah. Oh, hemp coffee. That sounds fabulous. Yeah.
Ooh.
Oh yeah, Joe really likes the.
Yeah.
Yes, it is, and it's nice because it's instant, so you can take it like and travel with you. But yeah, the CBD coffee is my favorite. It's the only coffee I'll drink actually.
Oh, nice.
Because I'm a very like jittery person anyway, so it doesn't cause me the jitters, which is refreshing.
That is nice, because sometimes that go-go bean juice, you'll be a little like, hey, let me grab this. Yeah. Now, Katie, do you do like the full out candles, bubbles, like hot bath, like not lock the door, mama's gone for an hour? Like,
there have been times where, yes, I have made sure to lock the door, and I hear the little feet on the outside and the knocking and the fingers under the door. And I'm like, oh, yeah. Mama's busy. No, usually I'll mix up some bubble bath and I will grab either a book or I'll have my phone and I will just close the door and just relax and stay in the water until it is too cold for me to stay in it any longer.
Right.
And that's usually my clue to get out. But yeah, I rarely get time to do the full candles and music and all that stuff. But I do like my bubbles.
Yeah, baths are nice. I like to like have that kind of as like a bedtime routine if I'm having like a real hard time relaxing to fall asleep, like take a nice bath and then I can sleep in the morning because I'm clean.
Yeah.
Sleeping in, what's that?
Yeah, that's what I
Two
tell
birds, one
myself
stone.
anyways, right? When I sleep in. Anything else? Like what do you do kind of for self-care, A Rose?
Also I mentioned the CBD, of course, and the Reiki,
Mm-hmm.
meditating. But lately my favorite thing on a more like practical, I guess, level is dry brushing before a shower. I did not realize the majestic beauty that is exfoliating. Like this entire time I've been like totally not. And then I don't know, just dry brushing before a shower, just you feel like renewed, like a snake coming
Right.
out of its skin,
You're
you know? Is that
shedding the
weird?
old
But like
skin.
I'm
Yeah.
loving it. Yeah. It feels good. So yeah, that's been my
I
favorite thing
love it.
currently.
Yeah. That's great. I know I'm really into like the self-care thing when I'm doing like the like Korean skincare routine because it is
Ooh,
intense, let me tell you.
is it?
But I found a couple shortcuts, so I'm just like 3-in-1 pads, let's go, you know. Then you do the serums and stuff. So like
Oh wow.
like doing a mask or doing something that really feels like indulgent and luxurious, like that's kind of my self-care, is like make a cup of tea, which I saw something that I thought was hilarious, that British people are like, oh, Americans are so cute, tea is self-care, like here it's just a necessity. But yeah, I'll just like make a cup of tea and put on a face mask or do a clay mask or something that just feels like really like spoiling myself, because
Well,
I
yeah, and
do
it's
feel
kind
like
of a mindful
self-care is
thing too,
related to
right?
gratitude. Yeah. What was that?
It's a mindful thing too, right? Because
Mm-hmm.
it sounds more like it slows you down a bit. Anything that sort of
Yeah.
takes you away from the chaos of like having to go all the time. So yeah.
Yeah, to stop and take a moment to just breathe and enjoy the moment. Yeah, it is a form of grounding in a lot of ways, of saying like I'm going to like step back from the hustle and bustle and just be in the now. And I think
Hmm.
that's why it's so important. What I love about like your practices, is that it's about introspection and self-awareness and focusing in on what's going on with you. And
Hmm.
then, you know, the bathing is great too, because it's like, you know, you're relaxing, you're breathing, and you're just enjoying the moment.
Yeah.
So these are just really great ways to just like connect with yourself, and that's why it's, you know, self-care, you know what I mean, because like that's the point, is to stop and enjoy the moment and just feel special for that moment. And I
Hmm.
think, you know, anything that feels like luxurious, like bath bubbles and stuff like that, is really great. Because like, yeah, we go through the day like taking care of everyone else, and then we need to take care of ourselves too, and just like have a
Hmm.
moment to be like, I'm a diva right now, like I'm just
Yeah.
gonna be a diva and feel special for the moment. So I really love that. And I did want to, sorry, get back to Katie a little bit. I know we talked about the Reiki services and stuff. What are some of the special services that you offer for people who are like looking and saying like, okay, 25% off, this is a great time to look? Like, I know you do author coaching and stuff like that. Talk a little bit about what that entails for you.
Sure. So when it comes to writing your book, a lot of authors need different things. Some authors need help with figuring out the plot of their story or figuring out how to plot their story. Some authors need help figuring out what's going wrong with their characters or why their characters don't feel good They don't feel like they belong in the story. So we can look at the characters, we can look at the plot, we can look at the story as a whole and see whether or not you've missed some elements, whether or not you've over-explained and gotten into the saggy middle of a story. Just all the different pieces that create the story and make the story flow. That's what I work with when it comes to just the manuscript critiquing and the author coaching. Beyond that, once the story is finished, you need editing. We never skip the editing step. So I do work with clients on editing their books. I also work with clients on getting the format for print and ebook laid out for their books, as well as the cover art if they're looking for it. Or if I don't do the cover art, I can provide them links to where they can find cover artists that might better fit their genre. Beyond that, self-publishing, if they choose to go that route, there's a lot of steps that are involved in that. So I take authors through looking at where they're at, what they intend to do, and where they can go to publish, as well as how to get those accounts set up at the different publishers.
Right.
To go about starting up with their marketing, some grassroots marketing efforts that are low cost, because a lot of us, once we're paying all this money to put our book together, we don't have a lot left over for the marketing. So really, it's just taking an author at whatever step they're at and helping them look at the board and figure out how to get their piece all the way to the end.
You're like a fairy book mother.
Kind of,
yeah, and you've got a new book that just came out. Do you want to talk about write and edit the damn book?
Yeah, and this is the Cattle Prod book. This is the one that I told Rebecca.
Oh, that's a great cover.
Do not let me screw this one up. I promised to have this one done this year. Don't let me screw it up. And she didn't. She was on me to make sure that I got everything to her. She was my editor for this one. So we got it done. It is now ready for pre-order. It should be out on December 25th, which is Christmas Day. So it'll be ready for everyone for those New Year's resolutions, because 2021 will be the year that you can write your book.
Yeah.
And inside, it is everything that I have learned through trial and error over the last 10 years of indie publishing, from how to write the story to how to make characters really, really interesting, all the way up to self-editing tips. And, some secrets like the cheat sheets for the word swaps and better ways to say certain things that we use as crutch words. Just about everything in there. So it should be.
I know a couple people.
I'm excited for it, and it'll be out not next week, the week after. I'm like trying to look at the mental calendar in my head. Going,
yeah. I know a couple people who need this book. So just wrote down the title to remind myself to poke these people and say, this is the year to write the book.
And that's my marketing plan for this book. It's about getting you through this. You can do this. Anything that's been stalling you in the past, you're going to find something in this book that's going to help you so you get your goal. You're going to be an author.
So Joe's got a question. What's a good starter candle for a guy who's not so familiar with them?
Starter candle?
Yeah, like a good scent to like start out with.
Oh.
I mean, I myself, I like the like fruity berry stuff, but I feel like the like warm like vanilla and like those are great for like relaxing, but also they're still invigorating. So it's not like lavender where it's like time to go to bed, but it'll like help put you just kind of in a neutral mood. So I'd start with like a vanilla or a sugar cookie or something like that. And I missed Regine's comment. What was that? Oh, when will pre-orders open, Katie?
The book is actually available now for pre-order. It won't release until December 25th.
Oh,
but
perfect.
it is ready to go on Amazon. I believe the other channels are taking a little bit more time. So it should be on iBooks. It should be on Nook and Kobo and all that within the next day or so.
Great. Any other candle recommendations?
I mean, I was going to say anything like nature smelling, I think, because especially if someone lives in the city, it's nice to have like, the smell of fir or something. Like, and right now
Juniper,
I'm into like very grounding pine smells, which I guess is the season, but even so, it's just very like, it takes you to somewhere you're not for a minute, which is nice. So.
Yeah, you can step outside for a moment, figuratively speaking. How about you, Katie? Do you have a favorite scent?
I've always said citrus is the smell of happy. So I really lean towards citrus.
It is very uplifting.
Yeah, and
Mhm.
any citrus. I mean, anything from like lemon, lime, bergamot, orange. I love all of the citrusy smells.
Yeah, Christmas tree candle. Yeah. Yeah. You guys are making me so jealous. I actually have a fragrance allergy, so I like love smells, but then they
Oh,
like kill
wow.
me.
All of
So
them?
I'm always like, oh, candles are like I wish. A big
Oh,
wish for me.
wow.
Like yeah. But I do like scent. So I'll like wander by and then run away before the scent aggravates me. So I'm like, candle smell, and then I run away. Yeah. But I'll talk about my prizes real quick. And my services that I offer. So yeah, sniff and run,
Sniff and run.
exactly. Sniff and run as fast as I can. And coffee is definitely a good
Coffee is
scent.
a good smell. I mean, I don't
Coffee,
drink a
yeah.
lot of coffee, but oh, I do love the smell.
Like
Mm-hmm.
roasted beans, like just when you walk into a cafe that like roasts their own beans, it's like the most welcoming and delicious thing in the world. Yeah, for sure. Um, so I offer different editing services, but also author coaching and things like book launch schedules. So for my gift to you, I wanted to offer either a coaching and dev editing package or an editing package of dev and line editing for 50 to 75K words for a discounted rate. And also, I will be picking someone to either get an hour of author coaching from me or a book launch schedule for free. So that will be, like I said, I think I'm just going to pick my favorite comments from the show. So if you're watching now or later, like make sure to comment because I will be looking over those and picking a winner by probably tomorrow or the day after. And yeah, you can get the author coaching on anything, any part of the process you want, whether you have questions about editing or you have questions about getting published or anything at all. That's what I wanted to help you all with this holiday season. So I think, I've really, really appreciated this show just to remind myself of, being grateful and really appreciating everything that's going on in my life that is good and that is happy and healthy. And, this has been a really hard year for everyone. And so I really needed this. I have like all the warm fuzzies right now. And I really
I
love
love
talking to
that.
you guys. Do you want to just say any like last words? Tell us where we can find you online, and we'll sign off. Sorry, with Katie.
Oh, you want to go with me again?
Yeah, we're starting with you.
I am super easy to find. Look me up by name. KatieSalidas.com is where you can find everything you need about me, from my social media sites to the books that I have published to the I just went blank, to Spilling Ink to Rising Sign Books. It's all there, one-stop shop. And please reach out and friend me. I'm always happy to meet new people.
And she's got some amazing books. She doesn't just do nonfiction with the like help you to publish and help you to write the book. She has some amazing series. I love her Magical Asset series. So be sure to check out her fiction as well. And A Rose, do you want to tell us a little bit about where we can find you and any parting words you have for people?
Yeah, so I am officially Google verified as of 2020, which is cool. So if you just Google my name, A Rose Mapstone, all of my stuff will pop up, including, I believe, the Rakery. So you can find all of those things there as well. And just remember to like hug yourselves. I highly recommend it, and breathe deep. Very important.
Yes, breathing is super, super important. And Joe, do you want to jump in and say where we can find you and anything that's going on with Go Indie now, or?
No, I'm good.
Quick in and out, like me with the candles, just in and out, I am Julia Allen. You can find me at Hijinks Writer is my social media handles, and hijinkswriter.com is my website where you can find me at everything about me. And yeah, just remember, like, give yourself grace and be kind to yourself. I know the holiday seasons can be tough, especially this year with things feeling so different. So just treat yourself like you would treat your best friend. That's the best advice I can give anyone.
That's really good.
We're a
advice.
lot nicer to our best friends than we are to ourselves.
That
Yeah.
is so true.
It is. Yeah. So thank you again. Make sure to leave comments and we'll be picking it. And the magic words are, it's always time to go indie now. Thank you for joining us and have a wonderful night.